Buying an RV right now might be the fastest way to lose serious money, and most buyers don't see it coming. Prices are slipping, dealers are panicking, loans are getting ugly. But here's the catch. This is not a buyer's market yet. It's a trap window. Why R-Vee prices detached from reality. R-Vee prices did not rise because quality improved or costs quietly doubled. They rose because panic buying met limited supply, and dealers learned buyers would swallow it. In 2019, a mid-range Class C motorhome routinely listed around $65,000. The same floor plan, same chassis, same appliances, was pushed past $120,000 by 2022. Wages did not double. Inflation did not justify it. Sticker prices simply ran away from reality. Median household income rose modestly, while R-Vee asking prices surged far faster. A buyer earning $70,000 annually was suddenly expected to finance a vehicle costing more than their house once did. That gap never made sense, and markets punish pricing that ignores earning power. You can see the crack now. Dealers are crossing out prices by hand, dropping $10,000 here, $15,000 there, hoping nobody notices. The same models are relisted lower each time. That tells you resistance has broken. Buyers stopped believing the number on the windshield. When prices fall this fast, someone is bleeding cash. And the bleeding does not start with buyers. It starts on dealer balance sheets. That leads directly to the next problem, floor plan. Pressure is forcing dealer cuts. Dealers are not cutting prices because demand collapsed overnight. They are cutting because floor plan interest is eating them alive. Most R-Vee dealers borrow to stock inventory. Every unit on the lot accrues interest monthly. In 2021, floor plan rates hovered near 4%. By 2024, many dealers faced rates above 8%. On a $150,000 motorhome, that interest burns more than $1,000 every month. Now add time. Many 2023 models have been sitting for 6, 8, 12 months. That is real cash leaving the dealer account while the unit ages in sight. Dealers keep paying. That pressure forces cuts that look like generosity but are actually survival. This is why discounts appear unevenly. One dealer slashes $20,000 to stop the meter. Another waits, hoping spring traffic helps. It rarely does. When floor plan costs outrun foot traffic, dealers fold. And here is the part buyers miss. Price pressure does not stop at the sticker. When dealers are cornered, they tighten paperwork, add clauses, and rush signatures. The financial squeeze moves from the lot into the contract. That leads straight into loan trouble now. If this breakdown is helping you protect your money, support the channel by liking this video, subscribing for future market warnings, and sharing your perspective below. Your engagement helps surface these details to others before costly mistakes occur today. Interest rates turned R-Vee loans toxic. Interest rates finished what high prices started. They killed affordability. In 2022, buyers could still borrow near 5%. By 2024, many R-Vee loans crossed 9%. That difference sounds small until you do the math. A $120,000 loan over 15 years jumped from $900 monthly to $1,200. That is not comfort money, lenders noticed. Approval standards tightened. Down payments grew. Some buyers who were waived through 2 years ago are now declined. Others are approved only at shorter terms, forcing even higher payments. Dealers call it normalization. It is not. It is correction. Buyers anchor on the payment they were quoted last season. They chase it with longer terms or variable rates. That masks risk, not cost. When rates stay high, interest eats the early years of ownership. Even if you manage the payment today, you have not solved the problem. You have delayed it. Because the moment you try to exit, the numbers turn against you. The loss does not show up on the monthly bill. It shows up when you try to sell. And that is where the trap closes. Depreciation makes escape impossible. Depreciation is the blow buyers underestimate. RVs are not houses. They do not hold value. In 2021, a new Class C purchased for $110,000 could resell a year later near $95,000. By 2024, that same unit lists under $80,000. That drop happens whether you drove it once or 50 times. Here is negative equity in terms. You owe more than it is worth. If you financed 100%, you cannot sell without bringing cash. Trading in does not save you. Dealers roll the loss into the next loan, stretching the damage forward. Listings prove it. Scroll any R-Vee marketplace. You will see 2023 units priced below loan balances. Sellers use words like motivated and must sell. Those are not marketing phrases. They are warnings. This is why price cuts do not create safety. Even a discount cannot outrun depreciation once it accelerates. And depreciation accelerates when supply rises and buyers hesitate. That is bad, but it is manageable if nothing goes wrong. The moment something breaks, the numbers turn brutal. Repairs meet depreciation, and the exit disappears. That is where ownership pain begins now. Modern R-Vee quality is the hidden risk. Modern R-Vees fail more often because they are built faster, not better. During the pandemic surge, manufacturers chased volume. Plants ran longer shifts. New workers were hired quickly. Suppliers substituted parts when originals ran short. The result was speed replacing precision. Roof seals were rushed. Wiring harnesses were bundled poorly. Slide mechanisms were installed without proper alignment. None of this shows on the showroom floor. Pre-2020 models were assembled slower, with fewer variants and simpler systems. Post-surge units, layered electronics, multiplex wiring, and lighter materials onto the same frames. Weight increased while tolerances shrank. That combination invites failure. Leaks remain the most common issue, followed closely by electrical faults and appliance breakdowns. These are not rare events. They are predictable outcomes of rushed builds. Owners notice problems early. The first trip reveals soft floors, flickering panels, or water stains. Downtime begins immediately. Service bays back up. Parts arrive late. The vehicle, meant for travel, sits parked. This is not bad luck. It is systemic. Here is the dangerous assumption. Buyers believe something will step in to protect them when this happens. That belief leads directly into where expectations collide with reality. Why warranties don't save you. Most buyers assume a warranty works like insurance. It does not. R-Vee warranties are limited, fragmented, and slow. The chassis is covered by one company, appliances by several others, the coach structure by the manufacturer. Each has exclusions. Each sets its own clock. Coverage often starts on delivery, not first use. Common failures fall into gray zones. Water intrusion is blamed on maintenance. Electrical issues are labeled adjustment items. Cosmetic defects are excluded entirely. Even approved repairs face delays. Parts back orders stretch weeks into months. Labor authorization crawls through approval channels, while the unit sits unusable. Service centers prioritize volume, not urgency. Warranty jobs pay less than customer pay work. That means your repair waits. Owners call it poor service. The system calls it efficiency. The gap between expectation and outcome widens. Some owners push back. They escalate. They demand answers. That is when paperwork matters. Warranty language becomes a wall, not a shield. And when frustration turns into action, buyers discover how little leverage they actually have. That discovery leads to a real case worth examining next, the court case that shows how exposed buyers are. A federal case in Virginia made the risk unmistakable. A buyer purchased a new R-Vee for nearly $100,000. Within weeks, serious defects appeared, including drivetrain failure. Repairs dragged on. The buyer sued, expecting relief. Instead, the court focused on what was signed at purchase. The dealer had disclaimed all warranties. The buyer acknowledged it in writing. The manufacturer warranty required disputes to be filed in Indiana under Indiana law. That clause controlled everything. The local court dismissed the dealer and transferred the rest. The buyer lost home field advantage before arguing the problem. This was not obscure fine print. It was bold, underlined, and signed. The court ruled that signing meant consent. Understanding was irrelevant. Rights were waived at the counter. Once signed, it could not be undone. That is the lesson. Legal protections buyers assume exist often do not apply to R-Vees. The structure favors sellers. Knowing this, a rational question follows. If the product breaks easily and protections are thin, why are people still buying? The answer explains why alternatives are winning quietly. Van Life quietly replaced the R-Vee pitch. Van Life did not explode because it was trendy. It grew because it solved problems R-Vees created. Vans cost less upfront. Parts are common. Repairs happen at regular shops. Downtime shrinks. Resale holds better, because the platform has uses beyond recreation. A converted cargo van at $60,000 avoids six-figure exposure. Insurance costs less. Storage is simpler. When something fails, fixes are faster. Flexibility replaces bulk. For many travelers, that trade makes sense. More importantly, van life removed commitment. Rent one. Convert lightly. Exit easily. That mindset spread. Buyers realized ownership was optional. The R-Vee pitch depended on permanence. Van life normalized flexibility. Here is the quiet shift. Once buyers accept they do not need a R-Vee, the entire sales argument weakens. Freedom is no longer tied to a massive purchase. And when flexibility satisfies the urge to travel, even van ownership can feel like more than necessary. That realization explains the market hesitation you see now. Buyers are not rushing. They are reassessing. And that pause is reshaping everything dealers hoped would last. Renting exposes the ownership math. Renting exposes the math owners avoid. Most R-Vees are used fewer than 4 weeks per year. That is not an opinion. Rental platforms and insurance mileage data confirm it. You pay for storage, insurance, registration, and depreciation every month, even when it sits. Renting flips that math. You pay only when you travel, then you walk away. Take a mid-size Class C R-Vee. Purchase price $120,000. After 2 years, resale listings hover near $80,000. That $40,000 loss happens whether you traveled twice or 20 times. Renting that same class runs roughly $250 per night. 20 nights per year costs $5,000. Over 2 years, $10,000 total. No depreciation, no resale risk. Even frequent travelers struggle to justify ownership. At 40 nights per year, rental costs reach $10,000 annually. Ownership still loses more once depreciation and interest are counted. Renting caps downside. Ownership magnifies it. This is why rental inventory expanded while sales stalled. Consumers ran the numbers quietly. They chose flexibility over exposure. The wallet difference is impossible to ignore. Once renting makes sense, travel itself gets reevaluated. And that realization changes everything today. Travel got cheaper, while R-Vee ownership got riskier. Travel changed, while R-Vee ownership grew riskier. Airfare dropped through competition and dynamic pricing. Regional flights now undercut fuel costs for long drives. Short-term rentals expanded supply, pushing nightly rates down outside peak weeks. Remote work reduced the need to bring your house with you. Travel became modular. Compare costs. A round-trip flight for two often runs $300. A week in a modest rental can cost $900. Total $1,200? Fuel alone for a long R-Vee trip can exceed that. Add campground fees, which now average $50 per night. And the math flips fast. Time matters too. Flights take hours. R-Vees take days. For working travelers, time has value. That value rarely appears in sales brochures. This shift removed the practical advantage R-Vees once held. They were cheaper than hotels. That is no longer true. They were flexible. That flexibility now comes cheaper elsewhere. The market adjusted quietly, and buyers noticed faster than dealers expected. When travel itself no longer demands ownership, the buyer profile changes. And that leads to an uncomfortable truth about who should not buy at all. Right now, patience protects wallets better than excitement ever does. If you want clear, proof-driven warnings like this before they hit the mainstream, subscribe now. This channel is built to help you avoid bad timing, bad contracts, and unnecessary losses as markets shift and sellers quietly change tactics. Next, who should never buy a R-Vee right now? Some people should not buy a R-Vee right now. Retirees on fixed income face the highest risk. Depreciation does not pause for pensions. Repairs do not respect budgets. A single failure can erase years of careful saving. First-time buyers face a different trap. They underestimate downtime and overestimate resale. Many enter with minimal down payment, exposing them immediately to negative equity. When plans change, exit costs arrive fast. Buyers stretching payments to qualify are also vulnerable. Long loan terms hide risk early and amplify it later. When income shifts or health changes, the obligation remains. Waiting protects all three groups. Inventory is aging across dealer lots nationwide. Floor plan pressure grows monthly as interest accrues silently. Rates remain elevated, and lenders stay cautious. None of those conditions favor rushing any purchase. This is not about fear. It is about alignment with reality. If your income is fixed, your tolerance for surprise should be low. If this is your first R-Vee, your learning curve will be expensive and unforgiving. If your payment feels tight now, it will feel worse later when repairs, downtime, and depreciation arrive together, creating financial strain most buyers never planned for themselves. Avoiding a bad purchase is only half the job. Knowing the smart move completes it. Right now, patience and restraint offer better protection than excitement or pressure from anyone selling you something expensive today alone. The smart move right now. The smart move right now is patience with purpose. Waiting 30 days costs nothing and reveals pressure points. Dealers face quarterly targets. Unsold units age another month. Incentives grow quietly. Safer alternatives exist. Rent for trips this season. Try a modest van conversion. Buy used only after steep depreciation, not before it. Focus on durable platforms with cheap parts and wide service networks. Watch specific signals. Price drops across identical models. Extended listing times. Dealers advertising 0% add-ons instead of cuts. Those are signs resistance is gone. Do not rush for scarcity. There is none. Lots are full across the country. Auctions show reserve failures weekly, sometimes daily, as dealers quietly retreat. Time is on your side if you allow it to work. You are not missing out on anything real. You are avoiding a mistake most buyers will not recognize until much later. Markets reward patience and punish impulse, especially during corrections like this. This one is no different at all. That advantage compounds when cash stays liquid, leverage remains optional, emotions stay controlled, and decisions remain fully reversible for buyers who wait calmly and deliberately. What happens next favors the buyer who waits, and the next window opens soon. Stay alert, track listings, and let desperation work for you, not against you, as conditions shift again within the coming weeks, quietly, predictably, and profitably for buyers. Dealer behavior is about to get worse. When prices start falling, dealer behavior changes first. Calm disappears. Pressure replaces patience. You will hear phrases like "today only," "last unit," or "manager special" more often. These are not deals, they are stress signals. As margins collapse, dealers stop competing on price and start protecting cash flow. They push add-ons, extended coverage, protection packages, and prepaid service because those items pay commissions immediately. Sales staff are coached to shorten decision time. Test drives are rushed. Comparisons are discouraged. You may be told another buyer is interested. That is rarely verifiable. What matters is speed. Faster signatures reduce exposure. Every day a R-Vee sits costs the dealer interest and floor space. Bundling becomes aggressive. A lower sticker appears. Then fees reappear elsewhere. Documentation charges rise. Mandatory packages appear. Nothing illegal, just strategic. This is psychological selling under distress. The product did not improve. The urgency did. And urgency always favors the seller, never the buyer. When pressure rises on the sales floor, it does not stop there. It moves quietly into the paperwork where risk hides best, and consequences arrive later. The contract traps that appear late in the cycle. Late cycle contracts look friendly at first glance. Lower prices distract from tighter language. Clauses grow longer, flexibility shrinks, cancellation windows narrow, addendum pages multiply. These changes do not happen by accident. They happen because sellers know fewer buyers remain, and each deal must be protected harder. You may see clauses limiting refunds, shifting dispute locations, or bundling arbitration requirements. You may see mandatory financing tie-ins, even with cash offers. None of this lowers the sticker. It lowers your leverage after signing. Lower price does not equal lower risk. In declining markets, contracts absorb pressure. Sellers trade flexibility for certainty. Buyers trade attention for savings. That exchange favors the prepared party only. This is not legal theory, it is timing. Early buyers enjoy choice, late buyers face structure. The closer the dealer gets to month end or quarter end, the more rigid paperwork becomes. Fighting these terms across the table rarely works. The safer move is not negotiating harder. It is understanding who wins by waiting, and why patience outperforms pressure. The buyers who win always look boring. Winning buyers rarely look clever in the moment. They wait. They watch listings age. They ignore urgency, while others chase headlines. Disciplined buyers track inventory fatigue. They notice repeated price drops. They notice silent weeks. They wait for sellers to blink first. This is behavioral finance, not bravado. Humans overvalue action during uncertainty. Markets reward restraint. In declining cycles, boring behavior wins. Buyers who skip shows, delay visits, and decline rushed offers protect optionality. That optionality becomes leverage later. Emotional buyers feel progress by signing. Disciplined buyers feel progress by not committing. They keep cash liquid. They keep choices open. They look uninterested. That appearance shifts power quietly. You see this pattern across markets, housing, vehicles, equipment. The winners are rarely first movers. They are last calm movers. The most important price breaks rarely arrive with announcements. They arrive quietly, after enough buyers step back. Knowing when that window opens is the final advantage. The 30-day window that changes everything. In overstocked high-rate markets, pressure concentrates around time. 30 days matter. Dealers face interest resets, inventory aging, and internal targets. Unsold R-Vs become liabilities, not assets. That is when concessions deepen quietly. Price drops appear without promotion. Sales managers gain authority to approve exceptions. Terms soften without advertising. Buyers who waited are called back, not pressured, invited. That is leverage without confrontation. The smart move is simple. Track identical units. Watch how long they sit. Let others absorb urgency. When sellers initiate contact, the balance has shifted. You do not need to rush. You do not need to argue. You need to wait for conditions to favor you. They already are. This is not fear. It is clarity. The market corrected as excess inventory met higher rates. Dealer behavior adjusted when pressure replaced confidence. Buyers who waited gained leverage. Instead of regret, nothing slipped away. No opportunity vanished. You did not miss anything important. You waited long enough to see the truth clearly, verify the numbers yourself, and avoid a costly mistake that others will only understand later on reflection alone. If this breakdown saved you from a bad move, don't keep it to yourself. Hit like so more buyers see this before they sign something they regret. Subscribe if you want real market warnings before they go mainstream. And comment below, are you waiting, renting, or watching prices fall?